Rent. Welcome back to Give Me Rent, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy holidays. Got a pretty special episode for you because we are all together. Me, Noah, Brandon, we're all together for an
What's
episode.
up, everyone?
I have been waiting for this.
Yes, we're back on the East Coast with the guy Brandon, and we got a lot to talk about because this week Stranger Things came out. The final season of Stranger Things just started with the first 4 episodes. We
The
binged
show
them
that has
all.
basically defined TV for the last decade.
It
Generally.
defined streaming television, I would say.
TV? It
more than
defined
anything.
where we are at now with
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah, I mean, Stranger Things, for better or worse, has kind of dictated what television is nowadays.
For worse, but
You think for worse?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the model has really changed for a lot. Also, just release, how they release Stranger Things has really shaken things up, I feel like.
well, I think a major
You know?
complaint, with the series was how long it took to produce. And one thing I will say I think people are a little too harsh on it because the product is clearly very expensive.
I genuinely believe it is the most cinematic TV show ever made.
Yeah,
and
and
I would go. I mean, you could say Game of Thrones, stuff like that, but like what we are seeing on screen on Stranger Things is unbelievable. Like,
well,
this is movie
I
quality
think it's
stuff every
smart for them
episode.
to release the finale in theaters. It clearly has a huge following, and it's going to be an event when it comes out. Because this has been 10 years, watching this series. It's the first 2 came out, back to back, and then the release model.
I am curious.
started
Well, when
changing,
did you
but-
start watching it?
Right
Brandon?
when it came out.
Right when it came out.
Right when it
Because
came out.
genuinely, he saw Noah. Honestly, I'm going to give you the credit. You caught on before it even became a really big thing.
I remember watching the
You
trailer
saw
back
it.
in
I want to say
2016.
first week of release.
Well, I was intrigued by it
Yeah,
before it came out.
Exactly,
I
the
watched
trailer,
it first
and then
day.
he told me to. I remember he was telling me to watch it, and I was like, "Yeah, like I'll give it a shot." And
Yeah.
to his credit, it was that first season. Let's talk. That
You
first
guys
season was
know
so
me
good.
personally. I'm a
Yeah.
big sucker for anything taking place in the 70s or 80s, right?
Yeah.
Love the music, the fashion, just even some of the cinematography like back then. Like, yeah, it's not 4K HD like we have now, but just some beautiful shots and some.
I mean, there's something about watching a film from, the era of the 80s that
and
is.
then having
yeah,
something replicate
different.
that feeling. Like, loved the Goonies growing up. Like, obviously we've talked about it and certain things that replicate that.
Well, it's
feeling of the
perfect. You
kids
just said
adventuring
Goonies followed by It, because I think Stranger Things is just a perfect amalgamation
of both.
or in love letter to Stephen King and Spielberg.
Yeah.
It is genuinely.
That's what it is.
yeah,
Even a little bit of
it's
ET vibes, a little bit. I'll say, like,
But
not-
it's
got
just
that
a love
Spielberg
letter to that
adventure vibe,
era,
yeah.
of that filmmaking, and I think that really does affect even the storytelling in the show.
Mhm.
Because I think one of my gripes with it is, I do feel even in this new season, I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I do not feel like, I guess, impending danger for the main cast members.
Yeah,
Like
I
I,
mean,
don't
I've
feel
seen-
actual like they're in actual
I think it's
danger.
always been a running gag with the show that the main characters just have crazy plot armor, like they
Yeah.
just kind of do.
Yeah.
It's always been side characters dying in the show, and
Bob. Ironically, Mikey from the Goonies.
But
I
they
will say, right
always
before
make
we-
you love these side
Yeah.
characters. I will say, and there actually has been quite a few, new additions already that have been really done well this season.
I'll
but-
definitely post a spoiler alert on this video so you guys know. But we will say now we're going into full spoilers on season 5. of
Yeah, so
Stranger
let's
Things.
start with
100%.
episode
So-
1. I think the big exposition episode. I was really wondering how they were going to follow up the end of season 4.
Yeah.
Do you guys think they did it successfully? Because it was very interesting how they chose to continue this.
yeah, I'm gonna say first episode. A lot of the interactions really, if you did not rewatch season 4, I will say you get refreshed very quickly. Like I rewatched season 4, but
Yeah.
watch
It does feel like a new beginning again,
100%.
like every
The
season.
person I watched it with did not rewatch season 4, and they literally were just getting their memory.
It's crazy. It's been 3 years.
Catches you up
It does
really well,
not
for
feel like
sure.
it's been 3 years. Since
It's
season
very
4.
weird to think. Yeah, like it's been since 2020. Wow, it's really been 3 years. I hate thinking about that, but
Yeah.
watching the interactions with the aftermath of season 4 and how they kind of handle things shows you, okay, we have a time jump. Like, the entire, part of Hawkins ripped apart, being covered by metal plates. The government's here. And this is a point of time where we got to remember, it's not like now where we'd have social media flooding everything with conspiracy theories. It's like these people thoroughly believe the government, so they're not really questioning that much, like the regular populace compared to the main cast.
Adding on to what you're saying, I was really surprised with, because I didn't know how they were going to handle the last season. Was the whole world going to be aware of what was going on, or was it going to be contained like we've seen in this season?
Yep.
I really do hope the series ends with the rest of the world being unaware of what happened.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
great, to at least, maintain that mystery
Almost-
aspect.
It's kind of like you can look at it how like the Upside Down is seemingly operating. Like this should be contained to Hawkins. Like
Yeah.
it's okay that if maybe the whole town knows by the end, whatever. But the whole United States should not know what the Upside Down is.
Well,
by
how
the
did
end
you
of this.
guys feel about how they, briefly explained pretty much what the outside world is, is viewing within Hawkins? It's
I-
locked down.
I
They
think
didn't
it's a
give
good.
all
I think
too
it's a
much,
good approach
explanation,
where
but
it's
they-
just like, yeah, we're containing the story here. Hawkins is its own thing, and they're cut off from the rest of the world essentially for the whole season.
Yeah, and it's very, very interesting. But it's I don't want to say dystopian like because it's not at that point yet. But I think Hawkins might reach. News gets out or some stuff starts going on, especially since Demogorgons literally just broke through everything. I
Yeah,
feel like
People
towards,
are seeing monsters. Like,
towards the season finale or series, we will see this break out into Hawkins, and it's gonna be really ugly.
I definitely want to see a whole town take over. For sure, but a whole
100%.
world, no. Like,
It's-
keep it to Hawkins. For
The
sure.
one thing I might sound stupid saying this, but it's kind of like how I feel about. I'll give another series that I'd love to see a mass takeover would be like like Aliens, for example. But I would love to see Demogorgons going through town, and ripping through people.
It's funny you say that because with Alien Earth, the show that came out earlier this year,
I
that's
haven't-
what we thought we were gonna get.
I
was
thought-
aliens running over a city.
And
We didn't really
they
get
did not
that.
go that route.
We didn't get that.
It sounds crazy, but like I don't want to get off track. But like, not gonna lie, I would love to see like a ton of face huggers cling on to like an entire pack there of like thousands of people.
No, I
It'd
mean,
be interesting.
yeah,
you
there's
know?
like crazy stuff that you really go scale wise with these creatures.
Yeah,
and
and-
I think for episode 4 of season 5, like we got the most we've ever gotten, especially
yeah.
Demogorgon wise.
the Demogorgon just wiped out and slimed out a whole military.
It's pretty. It's definitely some of the most epic stuff we've gotten in the series before. It's pretty insane, and obviously Vecna's aura farming, him coming in and just going crazy.
Before we get to the sorcerer episode, which is I'd say the big episode that they released, which obviously leaves us on a huge cliffhanger. Let's really talk about how they kind of led to Vecna in this season, because I think they did it pretty effectively. Where we know he's been scarred by the end of season 4, and they literally burned him, they shot him out of a building.
Yeah.
So I mean, his presence is still very much felt in this season, as he survived, and you slowly get this reveal of Mr. What's It.
Yeah,
And
I kind of
these-
like the mystery vibes here too. Cause,
Yes, we're
'cause
back.
Some
to
people
those-
could think that they're kind of egging us on, but I'd rather it be a little mysterious, like not knowing what's
Well,
going
first
on.
off, before we even get to Mr. Watson, I will say I really like the addition of the new actress playing Holly in this season. And I
Yeah.
like them starting the season with her, and then she kind of wakes up all the kids, and then the song Kids starts playing again.
Yeah.
And it kind of brings you back to that vibe of season 1, but also reminding you that, a lot of time has passed. I think using Holly to show that was actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Heavy season 1 vibes this season, too,
Exactly,
which is
yeah.
great. They definitely understand how iconic that first season was, and it still holds so much weight.
Do you know what I
to
want
now,
to say
which is
though?
great.
We do really forget, and I just want to finish this thought. Vecna is, was human at one point.
Yeah.
So it's very awesome to see that mentally he's got flaws. Like he's been outsmarted,
Yeah.
but now instead of looking as like some big bad villain that we're leading up to, he's a puppeteer. He's orchestrating a lot more,
Yeah.
and
And clearly he is not as emotionless as we once thought, because whatever's going on with him and Max and that weird, he won't cross that space for some reason.
Yeah,
That
we
cave
do
is
get some
personal
hints.
to him.
Yeah, we do
in a
get some
way.
hints of. I think we're going to get a lot of answers in the next part of this, but we get a lot of hints that it's not maybe fully him controlling the complete Upside Down. And I think we've gotten that before,
Yeah.
where it's like the Demogorgons themselves too, where
I was theorizing before this season that the Upside Down, the only part of the Upside Down that is, looks like Earth is Hawkins, is that one little pocket, and it seems like that might be the case with this wall.
well, yeah, it seems like
surrounding it.
part of the Upside Down's been manipulated by him, but also these creatures that we do see by the end of the season he controls, they do kind of also have like they're a hive mind, but also they're not him.
they never were
They
a
haven't
hive mind
fully
until
explained
now.
that yet. I'm
I
definitely looking forward
I
to
agree
that.
with you, Brendan. I think it's that he has created a hive mind with his powers.
100%, and I
And
think
that's what it
which-
is.
Well, I
and then
think
he
the other-
He's
maybe-
the hive mind.
well,
It's him.
yeah.
crazier
It's him.
crazier take on this. I think he created a hive mind so they were almost invincible. What I mean by that is this, right? Every time they have been dealt these massive blows to the head, when their mouth opens, whether it's a gun, it's something flammable, they've died. You see how he is now. They were dying against the military, went right back up like nothing happened to them.
It's true.
I think he created a hive mind, so he's orchestrating basically corpses at this
Well, it is
point.
weird because he got lit up at the end of
They
4,
all-
and he's good. I mean, he looks different.
Well,
He's got mangled or whatever, but
I'm
he's
talking about
alive.
but look at the Demogorgons, though. They got lit up, flamethrowers,
Yeah.
everything, got right back up like nothing happened. That has not happened in
During that
Stranger
whole
Things.
scene, I was like, how are none of them dying?
And
Like,
It
it's
did
weird.
show
Well,
that they
look
all
at how he was
shared
controlling
pain,
their-
though.
Well, look at how he was controlling their bodies immediately after. He lifted them right up. He is controlling corpses, like I said, like a puppeteer. He is controlling them. So it's
I
like,
kind of had
interesting
Night
kinda
King vibes
theory.
when he did that.
yeah,
That was Night King vibes. So I kind of like you saying that. That
Which
could be the
I do
case.
believe inspired Vecna slightly. Like his
Yeah.
design and all that.
I mean, he's just the way he operates too. He's obviously just like if you're coming up against him, unless you're Joyce or a main character, you're dying. So like,
But yeah,
I do like how he moves.
Cool.
with
back
that.
to how they revealed Vecna, though, I think them, showing we see Vecna in the first scene of the series, which ties back to
Season
Will's
1, yeah.
abduction, which was a pretty well done scene. CGI was a little wonky, but I will say it's better than 11 from season 4. Definitely an improvement there.
yeah.
Mhm.
But that scene, you see Vecna in his original form there, and you kind of get a little seeds to his plan there. That starts leading to where we are now in the end of the episode 4 with the reveal of Will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing, huge implications going forward. Especially with the rest of the kids being kidnapped and Will knowing the same thing is happening to them.
Can I?
I
it's
wonder
deeply
what do you
personal for
guys
Will.
I
think
want
the
to think
plan
about. I
really
want
is
to talk
here?
about Will having powers real quick. A lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, the nose bleeding. He's like 11." Actually, he's not at all. You understand something? If you're doing anything kinetic, what is it? What is it?
Well, it could also be that he gets some of
Telepathically, I
Henry's
almost
powers.
said telekinetically, but no, telepathically, you're gonna have trauma to your brain. Blood's gonna come out, even though it's not a real thing
Yeah.
based off what we've
Well,
seen.
I
but
think
now,
he's linked to
well-
11 in a way.
well,
it's
he's
not
not-
the same powers. I
no,
agree.
it's not the same powers. He's not linked to 11. I will say this: he became a part of the hive mind just because of how Vecna took him versus everyone else. Yeah, he was easy. Yes, he was probably not meant to get powers, but I forgot what the tube is that goes over his mouth. Obviously, when he's in the upside down,
Yeah.
gave him powers. I don't think that's gonna happen to Holly or the other kids. Everything's been different.
Well, the
Vecna's
plan could
learned
be
from
to
hi-
keep them in there the
Yes,
whole time.
but-
They might not ever
But
get out.
Vecna has learned from his mistakes, and I think seeing like what the effect has had on Will, and they sense each other. Like he's said this in the past seasons.
Yeah.
I genuinely think that Will's gonna be the only one to have these powers.
What do you think the point of keeping
he's-
him
he's
alive
good.
was? Like, why is Will
He-
alive right now?
It's either he's gonna manipulate him for a later plan,
Yeah.
or he's
Like,
I
does
think
he still need him?
I think Will might
know?
outsmart. Well, he's an
Because if anything,
orchestrator.
it seems risky
He's-
for Vecna.
He's
But-
an orchestrator, though.
You know?
He's going to use him, probably manipulate him to do something. They're very predictable to him. I mean, let's be real here. He's been 10 steps ahead in most of the
Well,
seasons.
you gotta safely assume if Will can see through Vecna's eyes,
Vecna
Vecna
can
can see
see-
through Will's eyes.
Or
So
even-
he's useful to him in a
or
great
even
sense,
more,
for
we
sure.
could be having Will do stuff for him, and he won't even know. Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like
in the
almost like a
past he did, for
subconscious
sure.
influence. Like we could be happening again, and history repeats itself. Like you will never know till we're at the end of the season. I think
Yeah.
Will's gonna end up overpowering him somehow.
Yeah.
Will's gonna die.
I think it really will come down to Will and 11 versus Vecna now. They're the two that
100%.
can fight
And-
him in a
and her
physical
sister.
sense.
And
How
her
do you guys
sister.
feel about Will?
Potentially.
How do you guys feel about Will being kind of connected to the demos and all the creatures and feeling their pain? But then by the end of the end of part 1, he can control them. And
Well, I
kill
think
them.
they're kind of harkening back to season 2 a little bit. He was possessed at the time, but if he is connected to Vecna still, and Vecna is the hive mind, if the hive mind is hurt, Will is hurt.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm taking it. It
Yeah.
seems like remember
But he
season
can
2 when
still
they were
fight
burning?
back. I guess they have to
Yeah.
explain it a little further, but it still is a very interesting.
Potentially,
They left
maybe
us in
Will
a-
is locked in and he won't feel the pain anymore. I don't know because he was clearly hurting the demos and it wasn't hurting him.
They left us in enough
know?
mystery that I'm happy we haven't been hinted too much
Yes.
about this, because it's like, okay, his eyes look just like Vecna's. Like his eyes went completely pale, completely white, almost like a blind person, and he was able to see through eyes. He was able to control the Demogorgons. He was able to do what Vecna did. And it's like, okay, he's somehow tapped into this hive mind.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing as 11. He can't do anything outside the hive mind. He is so limited. So all we have to do is kind of just sit back and watch. Like there's nothing we can really predict. They haven't given us enough cards to really read what this hand
Yeah.
could be.
I just
you
think
know?
it's a great cliffhanger. Like it leaves you with a lot of questions, but like a big answer too. Like will be a key.
Oh, I've-
clearly is the key to this.
I
season.
have a very big thing I want to bring up. We haven't even talked about this.
Yeah.
Dustin and Harrington. We need to talk about what's been what I
What,
want to
just their
say.
relationship
synopsis.
this season. I mean, they're the
It's-
best duo on the
well,
show.
Dustin
to a
in
lot of
general
people,
has
to
been
me, for sure.
Dustin's been a 180. So everyone else wants to lay low. Harrington's obviously giving him shit, throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
And it's definitely weird to see Dustin like this. Very impulsive, very
Naive.
reactive and naive, and
And
it's very
foolish,
frustrating
yeah.
because he's very intelligent and
He's always the level-headed
he's
one.
morale. He's very
Yeah.
his morale is very. He's just smart. And
I honestly don't really know where they're going with this story. I mean, I kind of know where they're going, but I don't know if I like.
I don't
this
know if
as-
they have the enough time to explore what they're trying
this
to
is
do.
a
don't
weird
like-
arc for him to be in a final
I don't
season,
like it.
think.
I understand. Eddie's dad. Eddie was also 20 years old, which is crazy. I think he was in high school, but I understand. There's pain. He's frustrated. He's getting bullied. He sees that people don't know what's really going on, but what Hellfire, I guess, meant to him and for everyone else, and what happened in the last season. Eddie's
I thought by the end of
sacrifice.
season 4 he was whelmed. Like even his friends mentioned in this season, they're utilizing it, but they're like, yeah, Eddie wouldn't really care that people care
They
about
think
him.
he's a murderer for good reason. Not
Yeah.
everyone knows about these interdimensional monsters.
It's like, yeah,
it's
just
Dustin,
being-
let him be, bro. Like
not
it's
everyone's
okay.
gonna believe you, and it's just he's got to understand something. Like he poked the bear. He just why do you keep poking? Like that's not to me.
He's
That's
asking
not who
for
he
it.
is. I understand you're a teenager and
Yeah.
you're gonna be hot headed, but to me that's just so strange. I don't and
That-
do like it. I'm very no pun intended, but it's strange. But I'm also intrigued to see where this redemption arc happens because it's only 8 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's halfway through, and I
so
feel like
it's
they barely
definitely gonna be the
fleshed
next.
this
It's
out.
gonna be the next.
It
2
doesn't. It's not
episodes.
really a redemption arc, but it feels like a weird continuation of like the arc he had last season where Eddie helped him pretty much find himself. And Steve has done that in the past too, but Eddie finally made him fully comfortable with who he is. And now we're just kind of adding on to that in a way
Crazy.
to add kind of a drama with his friends.
Crazy prediction.
I just don't know how much time we have for that.
I
Does
think you got
Harry
enough drama with Vecna trying to kill them. but,
crazy prediction, but does one of them die and that kills off?
I don't think they're
tension
going to kill
between
one of the
two
kids. I think if any of the
don't know.
kids die, it's going to be 11, and that's it.
No, I honestly think it might be Will.
Or Will. 11 or Will are
It's
the only
Will
two
or
unsafe
Mi-
kids. That's fair.
Will or Mike dies, and that's
Mike's
what
not gonna
fuels Will to defeat Vecna.
Mhm.
That's
Honestly,
the-
that's a good theory. Mike dying and Will can finally.
Well, it could be 11 and Will fighting Vecna in the end.
that's what I
if
think. And
that's
our
your
sister,
theory.
I think
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be the 3 of them versus Vecna. But I think
You think Holly might get powers too because of what's happening to her?
no, I'm not talking about
all
Holly.
these kids
Oh,
are gonna
I
get
thought you
powers.
said in the
Talking about
sister.
8.
Oh yeah,
Let's
let's
talk about
please,
that.
yeah, we
They
have
are-
to talk about that. That's huge.
They are continuing what is undoubtedly the worst episode of the show. It's not even a.
But I
You
respect
don't
them
have
for
to
not going
compare it to
back on
anything
the
else.
episode.
Yeah, you got to respect them for continuing what was.
But
a
it's
really
kind of
big
wild
thing.
when it was meant to set up a spinoff originally.
Yeah, so now it's no spinoff, even though we'll probably will get some spinoffs. So yeah, they kind of tricked us that somehow the military had Vecna in a thing, which was I never really believed for 1 second that they had Vecna. So
Yeah,
it was still a crazy reveal to see
You know how
them
hard
bring
it'd be to
back.
contain him.
Yeah, exactly.
The other
but
thing I
they brought
didn't-
back 8, right? Her name's 8.
The
Eight,
other
yeah.
thing I didn't like is Dr. K obviously in 11 in their exchange of dialogue. She was like, "I know who you have here," and blah blah. blah. Like, I wish, or I know who you've taken, like all those people or whatever. Like, I feel like she should have just elaborated more, and I feel like they both would have been like, "What are you talking about?"
I don't
Eleven
think that
was
was
so sure
handled
of
too
herself.
poorly. How do you guys feel about the inclusion of Linda Hamilton in this season? I think the show has put in so many legends
Yeah.
from the '80s into
It's
it,
great.
which has been great. Robert Englund last season, Sean Astin in season 2, which was a great addition with Bob.
Yeah, I mean, we also had Carrie Elways in season 3. You know, they continued. I mean, there's so many. Paul Reiser. There's literally so many, and I think, true to the nature of the show, you should have a lot of 80s icons in it. It's such a love letter to that time, and I hate when people say it's too nostalgia baity. What do you? Yeah, the show is based on nostalgia.
Well, I think one critique
good
that
nostalgia. It's
one
really
critique
well
that is
done.
very accurate, I will say, is that it's not even the hugest critique, but it is just a fact about the show. They leaned more into the '80s aesthetic after season 1.
yeah,
Like the story really, really it's a lot about referencing '80s stuff.
I think as
past season
iconic,
1.
the show got more iconic and stuff. It's like we have to put more iconic stuff in the show that
Well,
actually
how do you
plays
guys
into
feel about
time
the
a little bit.
references and the I guess just a product placement
Star
in this
Wars.
season?
Well, I mean, there was also
A
Star
lot
Wars
of movie
reference.
references this season. We have a big Ferris Bueller reference. You have a
Back to the
Star
Future.
Wars.
Back to the Future
Star
reference.
Wars too.
There's
Always Star Wars
let's
references.
be real here,
Always.
though. This is a time period where a lot of cultural phenomenons were happening throughout cinema. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be people are like, oh, it's nostalgia farming, it's this and that. It's like, but at the end of the day, you say, really though? Because back then, we can ask our parents. Everybody was talking about this stuff, banger after banger.
Pop culture was going crazy.
It
in the
was.
80s,
It
and that's
did
the whole
not
thing.
stop. But hey, speaking of pop culture figures, I mean, how do we feel about Eric Cartman 2.0? Derek.
I was like
Derek.
Eric Carmen.
See, I love how when he was put in the marketing, everyone was like,
Who is this?
Who is this?
It's just such a funny inclusion, just especially since, his POV was him flipping everybody off. I'm pretty sure he says a slur too, but he's just
Oh.
He says "suck a fat one."
Yeah,
a
he
lot.
says
he
says
says a
some
lot of
profane
crazy
stuff.
things. He says something. I don't remember what he says in the POV, but he says something so out of pocket to his own
I
family.
mean, I love that
His
they're
dad
still getting
passing
some laughs
out.
in there.
His
you
dad
know?
passing
Yeah, I was
out
about to
his
say that was the
laugh.
funniest thing
Bro,
the whole season.
Eric Cartman vibes from this kid. I love it. Just straight menace. But I wonder if he's. It kind of reminds me of like how they bullied Pennywise in It. I feel like, is he gonna bully Vecna?
Honestly, I'd love if Derek just bullied his way out of something. That'd be pretty
It's
awesome.
so funny.
I have a feeling he's gonna die brutally, but for now I'm enjoying
I
his
think
presence.
he's cooked.
Yeah, we'll see.
Watch,
see.
He's gonna save Holly and die.
He's
There you go,
been a
redemption
fun
arc.
part of the season, though, I will say. And yeah, you're right. Like, no, everyone doubted him.
Everything you hear me saying about this person dying, those are my predictions. If it's gonna be 11, maybe her sister, but I'm not gonna even count it because it's not that big. Part.
Derek and Will.
It's gonna be Derek and Derek, Will, 11.
One,
And
I think.
Yo, what a trio.
Will, well, listen, if Will doesn't die, it's going to be Mike causing Will to overcome Vecna and use the powers of the hive mind to full capacity, overpowering him.
And then
Crazy.
Derek comes
And-
in for the final swing.
No, Derek's just cooked. Derek got cooked earlier.
Well, I will
Derek
say,
got
though,
cooked early
a
in the fight.
Demogorgon turned him into
With-
Thanksgiving dinner.
with Derek, he's further evidence that this show, this show just always has casted amazing child actors.
They make you love the
And
character.
even this character that everyone doubted just because, obviously he looks a little goofy, but, the kid is a great actor. And just like him, the new actress for Holly is a great addition to the show.
I think they're utilizing her really well for just her character's sake, and also her kind of the duo of her and Max. I didn't really see that coming.
Unexpected, but
Unexpected.
it's a cool
but
way to
I
bring
like
her back.
where they're taking Sadie Sink. I've always really
Yeah,
said
we had
this.
to mention Sadie because
I've always said this. I think Sadie is the strongest actress of the kids in
yeah.
the show,
100%.
and I thought it was an interesting choice not to kill her last season, but seeing what they're doing with her this season, I think it's interesting, and I want to see where it goes.
Listen, we have to just accept the fact that the show is afraid to kill off people. Like,
It
to an
is,
extent.
and I hate that because I want to see people get mad, but then longevity, then be like, okay,
You have to just go to the other areas that they do so strongly.
I thought
it's
Lucas
one of the most
was gonna
cinematic
die.
shows.
I thought Lucas was cooked. I'm like,
They do
oh
the
my,
suspense
he's
pretty well, but it's tough when, like, in the back of my head. I even said it. Like,
I thought Ted was dead too.
yeah. It's like, how can they not kill Ted Wheeler off? That's why I'm like thinking everyone's safe. You know
I
what I
think
mean?
it's such a big show, and it's hit the zeitgeist so hard that
They're
I gotta
afraid to kill certain
No, I
people
gotta
off.
assume even the writers' room are such big fans of these characters. Where they're just like, we don't want to kill them. We don't want to see them
Yeah.
die. So it's just like they don't want to really add those stakes to the show.
Well, they have so
I
many
thought
fans that
Batman
would
had
be
plot armor.
devastated.
Yeah,
I thought Batman and Daredevil had plot armor. This is crazy.
this is
It's
unreal. I
just-
mean, once you get a scene of Mike, all the the kids, Joyce and Will, just running through a battlefield and no bullets touching them, no Demogorgons touching them.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. guys.
well,
Like, it's cool to see visually. Again, it's very top notch. It's very well
But
done.
I will
You're
say
like, you don't
for a
feel
second
danger
they're
for
gonna
them.
die.
I
yeah.
will say this about the Demogorgon scene, especially like everyone getting killed around them. He's not going to kill the kids.
That's
I
fair.
feel like Will is a part of the plan. Longevity. I feel like he's going to manipulate.
Well,
everything
Joyce
because
still
of-
comes at Vecna
But
after, so like
I
he
think
could
that-
have ripped her apart.
I
he
think
doesn't.
she's not a threat though. What is she gonna do? He's been in.
I mean,
been in
technically,
Will's
none of them
mind.
are a threat. None of them can really touch him.
That's my point.
He
That's
could
why
walk right through them. I
why
guess
did
they're trying to attack him.
No,
She was mad at him
Why
though.
did he?
you know?
one-
But
the
what's
one
she
thing
gonna
you could
do with her
always-
bare
yeah.
hands? He threw
Yeah.
her to the side. He's like, "You're a peasant to me."
Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
The one
Like-
thing you could always bring up is just humans to him are literally insects. He doesn't care about
And
them.
at the
Yeah,
end of the day,
really. It's his
what
ego.
my prediction is, he's going to try to merge the two worlds together and be an ultimate ruler. That's literally what he wants to do. He's evil. He's not somebody with like a long-term goal. It's like he
I
wants
do
to
hope
see
there's a
people suffer.
little bit more to it, and also like they say they're going to explain the upside down exactly what that is. And in our eyes, to this point, it looks like I guess maybe he has made it what it is, but it's clear that it's been there since before he was sent there.
Yeah.
So there
Well,
might be
that
even more
pocket
to
of
it.
like Hawkins. In my mind, it's like maybe he created just that.
Well, it's obviously significant with the date too, which they've mentioned in this season too. That date they talked about the date what was taken. They show it in the beginning.
Yeah.
Lucas mentions that it's coming up. He doesn't believe in coincidence. I think that is kind of teasing that. I think the finale of the show might take place on that date for one,
it's very possible that's.
and I
what
think
happens.
that it might end with Will dying. But
I
That's
think
my
it's
prediction.
It's Will or Mike. 11
I think
is
it's Will or
cooked.
11.
I just don't know
11's
why they would
cooked.
do Mike. It
I'm
just there's
telling
no.
you right-
I don't think they've
you understand
led
something?
to that.
Do
You
you
know what
know-
I mean?
I just feel like the power motion. Like obviously, Will has a thing for Mike. We obviously figure that out, right?
Yeah.
From this episode, the more he thinks about who he really is, he's gotten stronger, and I think 11's cooked no matter what. I think 11's dying. That's just, it's going to happen. David Harbour, Hopper's going to survive.
I don't know if
think
that's a
11's
guarantee.
cooked.
I really
think
don't know if
11's
it's a
cooked.
guarantee. They're playing with our expectations too because of the
strongest
scene.
character of the show, I think, is going to die, and it's her. The strongest
But now we know Will has
protagonist.
powers, so it's different. It's a different playing field
But
going into these last episodes.
I think she's going to die. Then, ready? We're going to all say our predictions in a row because we got to clip this. I think 11 dies. Don't know when. I think Mike's going to try to do something really bold in a moment of weakness. Will's probably not going to be at full capacity power to overcome Vecna. He's new to all the stuff he's learning, right?
You seem pretty nice with it, though.
Something's going to happen to Mike, whether he gets thrown, killed, whatever.
I just don't know why you so strongly think something's going to happen to Mike. Like, there hasn't really been any lead up to
I don't feel like
that.
every awakening that Will's been having, though, it's led to himself.
I guess the only thing would be
internally.
his care for Mike, which they showed a flashback of them in
All right, now
last
just
episode.
Predictions through. 11's dying, to my opinion. No idea when. I think she's going to die. I think Will either die also, or Mike's going to get extremely hurt, or potentially die, leading to the final battle where Will finally overcomes Vecna. Those are my 3 predictions. And then Derek's getting sent to the
You think final battle takes place on Earth or in Upside Down? Probably Earth, right?
I think it's
I'm thinking they're
Earth.
showing the Upside Down so much already in this season to kind of get ready for the final
It
thing.
actually is interesting. I
being
haven't
back
really,
in Hawkins.
I
put
think
2 and 2 together here. That was the first time Vecna's really ever been on Earth.
Yeah.
As Vecna.
As Vecna, yeah.
He's never stepped foot onto
I
actual
think
planet.
the fight.
He's always ever been, through his
Yeah,
mind
he's been
or
in
something
settings
like
that are
He's been in settings that are Earth, but
that
it's
are
through
Earth.
people's minds
It's
and seeing
yes.
him.
I was like thinking
So
about
he
the
really
season
just kind
4
of
finale.
walk. That was sick.
Final
Just seeing
battle's
him
gonna
walk out with full
they're gonna
confidence,
fail, and he's gonna bridge it mostly, not fully, but I think as Hawkins is starting.
Well,
to
actually,
see
they
the
kind of
upside down.
did tease that. I'm not sure if it will be the final place, but Hawkins Lab could be where the show ends.
Yeah,
Which would be very
Eventually.
fitting because it starts there. So
But I feel like there already has been a final battle there. So like,
we haven't seen it since that episode.
Do we see
Season
anything
2.
else besides the
Since the end of
Demogorgons?
season 2.
Do you think we see the Demodogs again, the bats?
I was wondering where
Do
they
we-
are.
Do we
the
see
whole time.
something else? That's why I think.
well, that's just an earlier stage of Demogorgon. So why would he use Demodogs when he has Demogorgons?
I think.
Yeah, I
we're
just
gonna-
thought we would see like a whole ton of creatures, like baby Demogorgons.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
bats. They were
you
on
gotta
a lot of
assume
season
past
4.
that wall. I'm thinking the creatures are coming from past the wall.
Why hasn't
That's why there's not a
Game
thousand
of Thrones?
creatures.
Also,
No, but you know what I mean. There's not 1,000 creatures
Yeah,
walking
yeah, I
around
hear ya.
Hawkins. Like they would die in 2 seconds if you walked into there.
Yeah, they-
also, why hasn't
So I actually
Vecna
think it's
visited the
adding-
military base if that's where he resides?
Yeah, no, I think it's adding to it actually making sense why people can enter that part of the Upside Down and not die in 1 second.
Yeah, I mean, they said it's
know?
going to be very much explained in the next few episodes.
He's
What it is,
sending
how
that
it
amount
works.
of Demogorgons to that part to do what he needs to get done.
I think
know?
we're going to see a lot of things that make sense. Why that military base has been allowed to stay for so long?
Yeah,
in the
that's a big
Upside Down.
question.
Yeah.
Like,
Why is he
why?
allowing that? It's
And
weird.
I think honestly, he might manipulate 8. He might manipulate 11. Like, I think he is right now tapped into Will, and he has no idea. I really think so. If Will could see through everyone's eyes, why cannot Vecna?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking Vecna can see through all
And
of
you
the
know,
victims' eyes.
he's an
whenever he
orchestrator.
wants.
He's a
I don't even
puppeteer.
remember if it was how it was revealed how 8 got out of there. Like, does maybe she have something to do with Vecna? And that
He's the
whole thing that
Palpatine of
happened?
Stranger Things.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't. 8 is a big question with how she
I am curious
knows
to
about
see-
Vecna. Does
I am
she even
curious,
know
yeah,
about
because
him?
8 definitely knew of him as an orderly or whatever he was in the room. But
But like,
I
so,
got
so you
one,
did
but-
see 8 in season 4, the flashback. I don't
I don't
remember.
think really. It might have been more indirectly, where she's kind of just like in the lineup or something like that. Like she might.
I just don't
broken
remember
out
when she
before
escaped.
then.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I'm saying.
That's true. Yeah, when did she
It's
escape?
We're gonna have to. I think that we're gonna get a
we
lot.
got to
of
stop
answers in
jumping
the
the
next
guns
episode.
one last time. I want you guys to do your predictions. I know what mine are, but what do you guys think?
Well, I think overall prediction, I definitely think the show will end with more or less a peaceful ending. I don't
Yeah.
think we're going for a world takeover, the Upside Down, or anything.
I think
like
Will's
that.
going to patch together the both of them.
I think
so
in
it's
classic
left.
80s movie fashion, we're gonna have good triumph over evil, but I think they fully got to go in on there being actual stakes here. Someone needs to either sacrifice themselves or truly tap into their potential here, which is either 11 or Will.
And I do believe that one of them is gonna go. Personally, I think if I had to guess, I actually am leaning more towards Will at the moment. Because I think they're playing with their expectations a little bit. You get a scene where you got Mike and Elle talking about the future, what after Vecna would look like.
Yeah.
The show is messing with their expectations with it. They have to know people expect 11 to die. And I think they're playing with that right now.
That's always been in my head that 11 would die because it's like if you place Stranger Things in a real world context, 11 would never go on to do anything.
The only
She has
thing that's
superpowers.
the
You know,
only
she would
reason I
never-
do think she's not going to go, and just like Hopper,
she's
is that,
tied to the Upside Down.
but not just
so much.
that. She's a character just like Hopper. It's been teased many times that she did die.
Mhm.
They might not want to retread that in season 1.
Yeah.
We,
It's getting a little older.
when season 1 came out, we thought it was one season and done. When I first watched it, we thought she was gone.
Yeah.
And the popularity of the show. I mean, they made that second season so fast.
Yeah.
That's also lended to why so many people think it's taken so long to make.
Yeah.
But each season has gotten so much more epic. We're heading towards an insane final battle here. That's why it's going to be in theaters. So yeah, I personally think there's going to be a huge warfare scene at Hawkins' lab, and I think someone's going to sacrifice themselves.
Yeah.
We also have to answer to what happens after, because one thing we didn't mention is who does Nancy end up with? That's the
Yeah.
last thing. My prediction is that Steve is going to get.
I
Nancy
think it
again
is right now. I
this.
think right now Steve's trying hard for her. I mean, not Steve, but
Jonathan.
Jonathan. Sorry, Jonathan's been trying hard for her. Steve's gonna back off, but at the end of the day, it's gonna end up those two together.
Maybe they subvert our expectations on she ends up with neither of them because they were ridiculously fighting for her
Yeah,
while
they can pull
we're
a Ted
in,
Lasso.
we're in endgame stakes here. This is the final season. It has that feeling, and they're it's nice that we can still have moments of levity though. I will say
For sure. There's been some
that's
good
I think
comedic
that's my
moments.
main thing that I really have liked about season 5 so far. That it has that feeling that it's really getting towards the end, and the stakes have never been higher.
Yeah.
But we still have some great moments with the cast. It's obviously probably been the darkest so far. Season 4 was
no
not light
doubt.
either.
No doubt.
But we still get a lot of great moments with these casts, and I'm really excited for the last 4
So-
episodes.
Yeah.
I want to move away from Stranger Things because I feel like we are.
I think we covered it.
we're
That
going
was-
all over the place.
Yeah,
with it.
because
It's-
we got to see the ending of this.
we-
This show is
we need to
halfway.
wait for the next.
Still 4 more
couple-
episodes.
you know,
We
to
got
go.
1 month.
I
We will
think
see part
after
2.
next 2 episodes, we're gonna have a lot more clarity on what we truly believe from now. But let's talk about similar vibes. Welcome to Derry. Pennywise finally revealed. I mean, we talked about the expectations of this show and what's the military gonna do. This and that. I mean, we had a small.
Well, it's weird
Why
how they've
is
had
the military
yeah, why is the
trying
military
to
trying
fight
to do these
interdimensional
things?
monsters in
is,
every show? What's going on?
The thing is, I guess with Pennywise is they don't really know what he was or what was happening. We're
Nah,
not
the
talking
main
to
guy
tribe.
doing the operation, he knows he shouldn't be messing with it.
He knows he shouldn't, but at the same time, when you're in the military and you're trying to fight a war, how many experimentations are going on throughout this time period? Exclude it, actual real life stuff I'm gonna be talking about.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody was trying to harness this thing to beat each other. It was really big national. There was a lot of stuff going on in the world, right? I think that they're kind of utilizing real history with fiction perfectly to manipulate the story to the way they want. I mean, listen, small platoon goes in, they're getting murked by him. PTSD, like I called it. I mean, look at the whole tie-in with The Shining and what else is going to happen. We don't know what other movies, other
Massive
properties of
Stephen
him.
King vibes in the show, and I mean,
Love it.
obviously because it's a Stephen King
I'm
thing. but
liking the
it's not like
story
he's written it
building.
or anything, but
I like
they've
it.
gotten the vibe down really well, more
Perfect.
than I thought they would. I really am pleased with the
Biggest thing
atmosphere.
I take away from this is obviously they talk about the massive bloodshed that's going to happen at the end of every cycle. So Pennywise is at one point is going to just slaughter people,
I
But
think that's going to be
the final episode.
the
before-
black. What's it called again? The Black Rock
Yeah,
or something like that.
but
The black
that
spot.
that
Black
might
spot.
be in another season.
yeah, but
no, that
no,
would be
it's at the end of this
that
because
would be
the other
this.
one's a
It's
time
in the
jump.
60s.
We're going back.
That would have to be the event.
It has to be at the end of this. But back to what I'm
I
saying.
believe.
The
I
one
believe.
thing I like about the show is it isn't some merciless kill count every 5 seconds like all these horror movies that we've seen, right?
Yeah.
So, it's story building. It's building on who Pennywise is, his identity, where he comes from. I mean, just the world itself. We know the extended lore from outside the movies, but what's going to get brought in? What's
But
not going to be brought in?
one thing the show is going to delve into that it has to do with the lore, but the show is going to expand on the lore.
100%.
Bob Gray. And for those that don't know, Bob Gray is it's a pseudonym that Pennywise has used a lot in the past. And you see hints of it in, especially at chapter 2.
Yeah.
You're introduced to Bob Gray's daughter, who is featured in the show.
Mrs.
But
Kirsch.
in chapter 2, she's a manifestation of it.
Mhm.
Kind of just controlling her house. But
I've
it's-
seen theories going around. She's also a manifestation of it in the show.
Yeah, I was about
Yeah.
to say, in this latest episode, we saw a complete, just a manifestation pretty much be with the kids the entire
Yeah.
episode.
Something it has never done.
Which
This
led
is
to
weird,
the reveal
know?
of, the clown finally, which was, it was very well done scene. But how do you guys feel about, Pennywise pretty much being with them for the entire day?
It's just kind of funny to me, but at the same time, it's just a hunter stalking its prey. That's how I look at it.
Well, I think one I realized it was Pennywise was when he started talking to them on the top of the clock tower or whatever, or wherever their meeting spot is. He starts telling you things that Pennywise did that aren't very Pennywise-like.
Yeah.
Like dropping a kid to bleed out, which is, a crazy sentence to say, but it's so dark. And Pennywise doesn't do that. He eats his victims, after scaring them. He doesn't let them bleed out like that, which is it's
The
cool
only
on
person
another
we ever
level.
see him let live was Beverly in the first part because she wasn't scared of him. And he was just like, all right.
The other thing I want to
He
say,
realized the kids were getting less and less scared of him, so that's why he does what he does in the end of part 1.
The
But
other thing,
in this was a good plan to get them scared.
the other thing I did want to say though that just didn't make sense is, not that didn't make sense. What the kids should have, they're not going to pick up on it. We would have picked up on it. I knew it was Pennywise right off the bat because it's like, listen, he gets killed in the first episode. You see the blood. You see the binky go out the window. Like, he's not.
It's still not 100%. He could have.
he's locked in-
Pennywise does not leave his victims
He's locked in a
alive.
car though.
Thing though,
He's
with him
locked in a
saying
car.
those
That's true.
things that
He
are
couldn't get out
very
of the
not
car. He
Pennywise
gets-
like, it was
the head
Pennywise.
trauma.
Oh,
doing
I
it
was
to
shocked
scare
when I
them.
saw him. I was
I
like,
was
there's
like,
no
you know,
way.
I was like, it's not him,
He
it's Pennywise.
effectively scared them by telling them things that weren't true about him. It's very weird, but I thought that was very interesting. It was very
It's
telling
to
that it
manipulate
was
them. He
him,
wanted to eat them all, and he just didn't want people that were skeptical of him, I guess, to live. He probably thought the kids were catching.
How do
on
you
with it.
feel about him also really interacting with a ton of adults?
And Marge too was weird. I mean, with Hamlin's wife, I forget her first name, so just
That was an
I'll
interesting
just Hamlin.
scene.
That was crazy, but I also think we're at the point where he's been around for centuries. Like, we've known this already from his history, or not centuries, but he's been around for a while. I think he's kind of finding out what he likes more in his victims. Like, he prefers kids because the fear tastes better to him, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to play around with some adults. I mean, the oldest he ate, they said, was 16 years old, which is crazy because I'm very curious on how that even happens with a teenager. Like, his main prey that we've known from previous media, books, it is kids. So hearing a 16-year-old is like, it's old for him. I mean, obviously, it makes sense.
I think he likes, if
You're
anyone
afraid.
who's messing with him or is actually gonna affect the town in a way, he's gonna have to kill. Like,
Yeah.
That's why this family that's moved in, the guy who's the military father and his wife and his child are all messing with his plans.
Well, that's
So
what, yeah,
he's
I was
going
going to say
to,
that as
He's
well.
gonna fight back.
It could be a sort of tactic to kind of scare them out of Derry, where we know that if you leave, you're not going to remember what happened.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, it's like, the one of my main things that I started thinking about with this is that, when the military is there, they're so aware of everything. But we got the reveal that the general, his memory slowly came back to him. It was revealed he's from Derry. So I will say, it's interesting the story they've brought to us for this season. I will still say I'm not fully sold on what the show is trying to do and say. But I've talked to Dylan about this. I love seeing more Pennywise, and that's kind of cheap for me to kind of just contradict myself immediately. But he deserves more screen time.
Exactly. I'm a little mad that they're milking it. However, Pennywise, at least for now, for modern horror, is an icon. And think about our horror icons of the past: Freddy, Jason, Michael. There's 10 plus sequels in all their
Chucky.
franchises. Yeah, Chucky. Yeah. We've seen so much of them, and Pennywise deserves to have more screen
And
time.
also, just
He's a great
admittedly,
character.
Stephen King is a master writer, and he's written a lot of great stuff. It's not one of his best books. It has a lot of interesting things in it. It also has a lot of terrible things.
And
in it.
questionable, very
Very
questionable,
questionable things that would not be allowed in books today. One thing in particular, if you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah, we're
But I will say, the
even on
Skarsgård
screen.
the
that's-
Skarsgård movie, the Skarsgård movies, they're not the greatest interpretation of that. But I will say it's probably the best media we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Like, take it for what it is. Like, this is the best interpretation of the clown. I'm sorry, Tim Curry. It's iconic, but Skarsgård does own the role.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to see more of him because obviously he gives it all every time.
they
They
make it a
didn't
lot
get
of
him a
seasons.
lot,
They
but when
both
we get
work
him in the
because
show,
think
it
about both
feels
these-
special.
Think about both the actors that played him. They're just both amazing actors.
It's
took
true.
on-
Yeah, I didn't want to
Curry-
discredit Curry
Seriously,
because what he did
the
was incredible.
reason Skarsgård took it seriously is because Curry took it seriously.
Yeah.
Like, he followed in suit, and they both did a great job for especially two different takes on the character.
I definitely
Not the
want to say though, the three of us saw it too. Like, we all talked about it. We saw it when it first came out and how it was very disappointing from what it should have been. But I think the show might, longevity wise, kind of help.
It's chapter 2. I'm already thinking that, and we're not even halfway, or we're about halfway.
I've been
through season
thinking
1.
that a lot.
I am thinking that. However, something I think it can never save is just the tonal shift that movie takes sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Where it would just play.
No,
just
it's
call
still
me
not
Angel one scene, and then the next scene someone
It's
gets
still
gutted.
not
like,
a great film, but it has some certain sequences that I'm looking back differently now, especially, the Bob Gray daughter scene, which ends with seeing Bob Gray.
Yeah.
You see it as Bob Gray, which I think is teased for this upcoming episode that's releasing tomorrow night.
Yeah.
We're going to possibly see the origin of Bob Gray. Whether that means, it is him the entire time or it's someone he took over, or took his life over in a way. I don't know. But I'm
Yeah.
very interested to see.
I
That's
think-
something the books does not cover.
I think he's going to eat Bob and obviously take his place to blend in to get more prey. But
Well, his daughter is a big question too, because she is clearly a character in this show that isn't, all evil. She obviously is part of a different storyline.
You kind of just made me think of a whole new theory that kind of plays into it. If he can impersonate an entire child for a day, what's to stop him from impersonating a man for a week? Like, can't he?
Well, I think it really lends to the Bob Gray theories and stuff. That,
Yeah.
this was a person he pretended to be for a long time.
Exactly.
so
And has continued to.
what's the name of the character? I just forget just because they always say my father, my father. What's the name of the character that owns a movie theater?
Owns the movie
the one who's
theater.
going to prison.
Yeah, the one's going to prison. What's his exact name? Because I don't want to butcher it, but
The
you
one
know-
who's dating Bob Gray's
Bob
daughter.
Gray's daughter. But the thing is, I wonder if that's really Pennywise with him.
No, I
sounds
mean-
That's
cra-
his name's Hank.
Hank. Okay, it is
Yeah.
Hank. So
It's
imagine
a
if,
wild theory,
Yeah,
but you're
he
saying that because
slept
of
with
chapter
Pennywise?
2.
yeah.
So the theory is that he slept with Pennywise, essentially.
yeah,
I hope it was good. I mean,
Pennywise's real gender. If you look up, even though it's lights and entity, it's a
So
female.
Pennywise let a dude sleep with him just for the name of the game?
No, that's not.
What?
No, you're not letting me finish. You're not letting me finish. I think it's. I hate to say it, but I feel like it's deeper than that. I think it's to find somebody to frame.
Yeah,
to
no,
keep
he
the
wants
killing
to
spree.
add trauma to the whole town, and this would be the way to do it.
And-
But it's just wild that he would go that far.
Okay, one thing too that another detail we've gotten with Bob Gray and not exactly Bob Gray, but with the past and Pennywise and the carnival, we do see a shot of a female in Pennywise type makeup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Do you guys think that's Bob Gray's daughter?
yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
Mrs. Kirsch. That was good.
So I think in the next episode it's gonna be maybe revealed that she has a Pennywise type wig. We'll see her wig from the past.
And they'll think
Maybe it
it's
will
her.
be revealed when in her or maybe she knows that her father became Pennywise eventually. Like
Yeah.
it just switched
That's
one day.
like I don't find it insanely far fetched.
I just wonder how they're going to reveal that
Maybe.
because
Him
we
when
see
shooting
that
his wife
she's
was a
seemingly
crazy
human.
scene. I want to talk about that too. Just the manipulations of different types of fears has been
When
crazy.
Hanlon saw his wife in
Hanlon saw
in
his
the tunnels.
wife.
had to kill Rudy
Just-
Mancuso.
Rudy Mancuso was crazy. That was funny, but it just they
Weird
don't.
death.
I mean, it also shows like they don't really understand what's going on. Like he was going to shoot his own son.
Yeah.
You know, like they really don't know what they're up against.
That would have
and
been wild.
that would
that
have
would've
been
been
cra-
wild.
if he killed his son. I
Yeah.
thought that's what was going to happen.
That was decent suspense. That scene where
I
he
really
ran out.
thought that's
you
what was
could
gonna
see- You
happen.
could see it coming.
I
but it's
really
still
thought they were
pretty
going to do it. And I was like, wait, technically that's what's his name's father that burns in the
Yeah,
in
we-
chapter 2.
I will
so-
say, spoiler alert for those that don't want to hear it about that character specifically, but in it chapter 1, it is revealed that if you know the details, you do see his death scene.
Yeah.
Eventually, Pennywise does get the kid, which sucks to know that.
Yeah.
But the rest of them, I think especially we got to talk about the main character, Lily.
He burns in the building, right?
Yeah, he does burn the building.
But was that Pennywise that did that? I don't remember. I thought that was just.
It's
well, you could
because
always take
it's
that these
seemingly
big events
because
are
of
related
Pennywise.
to him in some way.
He shows it to his
they
his
stated
descendant.
in this last episode that his cycle always ends with a big bloodshed event. which
That seemingly
would
was
definitely be
it.
one for sure.
That would, but it's just isn't that his son technically?
What do you mean? It's
Isn't his descendant? I mean, that's
No, it
technically
would
the
be
kid
Mike's.
into-
I think it's Mike's father, and Mike is living with his grandfather in the beginning of it, chapter 1.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He doesn't live with him. So that's the weird thing where it's. I don't know if the timeline does match up for it to be Pennywise. So you're right. It could have just been
It
a
just-
crazy incident that
I just
Pennywise
think-
uses to show him. So yeah,
No,
you're right.
100%.
I could be wrong. I might refute on
It's
that.
him just using.
We know
trauma.
he does eventually have a terrible demise, but yeah, he's gonna survive this bout with Pennywise. That's just guaranteed. But the other kids, they're not safe.
No.
But one of them in particular, our main lead, Lily. Like, how do you feel about the ending of the episode with her and the dagger and all
Well, I
that?
wonder what's gonna happen to everyone else there because there's 2 people besides her left in those sewers.
Yeah,
You know, the nephew and what was it, Lieutenant? I don't remember his name, but you got a military operative and you have a Native American, teenager. That's both are in there working right now. So is Pennywise gonna kill them both? They both get out. Like his use of
I feel
fear
like
is
that
very-
teenager will survive.
I do too.
He knows his shit. I feel like
he did drop the dagger.
I think
He
he's
did
gonna
drop the
f- I think
dagger,
he's
but I
gonna
feel like
find-
Pennywise isn't
I
gonna
just
mess
think
with
he's
him.
gonna find where the dagger was made from.
Yeah, well,
All the
Potentially maybe
material.
get another.
I thought the
Absolutely.
dagger might have been like from, like might be like part like turtle shell or something, like from.
No, you
No, it's
see
not
the,
from-
the
it's
sh-
not.
it's,
Pennywise.
it's a piece from his meteorite.
Yeah,
crash.
it's
But
from
like,
where he
what
came.
what is the meteorite? Like,
To
who
contain
sent
him.
him to Earth? Like, was he sent? You know,
He was banished, I think.
I
wasn't
don't
it?
think
But,
he
like-
was sent in a turtle shell.
No.
like
the
also the
turtle's
turtle
a-
thing's already ridiculous. So how is that a reach?
Well, it's a space
guess
turtle.
It's a giant turtle
It's a
Guess
giant
not a
space
reach, but I
turtle.
don't
But
know.
it's
that
a
can
guardian.
also turn
But
into
it's
whatever
also
it
a
wants.
guardian. But yeah, but it's different. It's more for peace.
Yeah,
essentially.
but so I mean, the Stephen King universe is obviously being merged in this show. But yeah, for those that don't know, the Dark Tower really does tie all these stories together. And Pennywise is from the world where those stories take place.
Yeah.
So he was banished from wherever the Dark Tower takes place to Earth, and that's the details we know for It Welcome to Derry. But I think they're changing the origin a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I'm
So
not
we're
jumping
gonna
to
learn
stuff.
more. It's because they
The
also
turtle
take-
gets referenced a lot of times.
yes,
So
they
we will-
reference his actual
a lot of
origins
turtle imagery this
but they
season.
take liberties already. Obviously, the movies take place in a completely different timeline already from the books, so that's
Yeah.
already different. So
Yeah.
they can take a bunch of liberties, especially bringing in Hanlon, or not Hanlon, bringing
DeMar?
in the guy from The Shining is very very interesting. Also because the timeline is
Halloran?
different.
Dick
Halloran,
Halloran, yeah.
Yeah.
Dick Halloran being in the show is interesting because how does that affect his timeline?
Because this is clearly before his time at the Overlook, and
It's
We're doing
interesting
any
the
of that.
references we got to Doctor Sleep and The Shining in the last.
That was
episode
crazy.
I was
specifically.
gonna say
The
massive
visual
Dr.
box
Sleep
reference was
Yeah,
crazy.
the visualization of The Shining in his mind is
Directly from Doctor Sleep.
the book Doctor Sleep, which
It's-
I have read, which it's been some time.
More
but
recent book
yes.
came out like 12 years ago.
Yeah, I mean it's
Or
crazy.
like maybe 15 years ago. I got an
I just
adaptation
think
not
it's
too long
crazy how they're tying in everything, but I also think, call me crazy, this has nothing to do with the show, but I think they're going to start, who knows, maybe we get a newer Shining, maybe we get a newer this, maybe we get other
ago.
books.
Do
and
you
got
think
movies
that
and
other
tie 'em in.
seasons of It Welcome to Derry are going to reference other Stephen King stories? And
Yes.
I think no doubt we already have
Yes.
Shawshank references. We already have
Yeah.
Shining references.
100%.
I would have
I
to take a
don't see
deep
why
dive
not.
into Stephen King stories that take place, further back in, history.
Yeah.
Because there could be some really fun, even just doing descendants of characters. Clearly we see it in the show a lot
Yeah.
already. There's a lot of room to could tie into the universe.
I mean they really made me think of when he was talking about his grandma and how you even see it him talking with his grandma in his mind. That is. Think about the Kubrick movie where he literally talks about that. I was immediately brought back to that scene.
There's a
where
lot
he
of cool
says he used
details,
to
yeah,
do that.
for King fans, and even
Yeah.
fans of that movie specifically, which is kind of crazy because I don't know if
Yeah.
it's really trying to tie into the book or the movie because Halloran has a different fate.
Well,
in
I
the
think
movie and the
every
book.
time anyone makes content with Stephen King that relates to The Shining whatsoever, especially with Doctor Sleep with
they wanted to
Flanagan,
tie to Kubrick.
you want to tie it to the Kubrick movie because that's what everyone visualizes when they think of The Shining. Even though it is really not a great adaptation of the book. I mean, it's a great movie, but it takes so many liberties. away
Sometimes you
from
got to
from the book.
improvise.
Yeah, I mean, but it's
There's a reason
it makes
Stephen
sense
King
why
does not
everyone.
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it really.
He's come around on it, I think, but he doesn't like the movie.
It's just
too much.
very different from the book. That doesn't mean it's a bad movie. It just takes a lot of liberties.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite horror movies.
Well, one
So-
last addition before we wrap this up, though. I will say another fun nod in a more recent, another recent Stephen King adaptation was The Running Man.
Yeah.
He goes to Derry.
He does go to,
And
Derry
that would
in
be
the movie.
post Pennywise's time there, but I just think it's
Yeah.
fun, seeing
It's
a
fun to
completely
bridge this
different
stuff,
non-horror story still, reference the towns that are, it's really
It is.
a shared
It was really
universe.
interesting to me. Like they would, because Derry's clearly a fictional place. So it's like, why even bother go to Derry in the movie? Yeah, they just wanted to connect it to the Kingverse, I guess. Which
Yeah,
is,
no, it's just
fun.
fun little
Fun
nod
little
to it.
nod, fun
It,
little
doesn't,
nod.
it doesn't add much to the movie, but
Marge should have died. That's it. I'm leaving it at that. Sorry. Had to get out. I was holding that on my chest too much.
well,
Can't stand
that
it.
scene of her with
eyes
the
was
eyes was
crazy.
nuts. That was actually some really well done stuff.
It was. I just can't. I cannot stand
Yeah, I
her
can't
as
really
a
stand most of the
character.
kids. I'm not gonna lie to you.
it's
I'm not gonna Like,
it's a little kid.
Some of them I feel bad for because I'm like,
Nah,
like,
Marge
def-
was annoying for sure.
Marge, I just cannot
Yeah.
stand
I mean,
how
listen, the
fake she is.
story. I mean, she was unbearable until this last episode. That's
Yes,
fair.
Still not a fan. Busy
took her,
that
like,
day.
But like,
Basically losing
listen,
I
her
will
she's part of the group now. Is that like
She does have a horrible fate because I don't know if you guys seen the trailer. Like you could see that they all start getting dragged in the middle of the city.
That's
City
just a
town.
spoiler for me. But yeah,
It's in the trailer. It's like one of
Well,
the
I don't watch the trailers. It's I
think
try
they're
to.
gonna drag out these kids as long as they can. But yeah, there's really nothing saving them at the end of the
Do you
season.
think this season ends with most of them dying?
They're gone.
Yeah.
They're done.
I think they shouldn't hold
They-
back. It's not
they-
like they're gonna beat them.
They all end in a bloodshed.
Well-
Why should multiple teams of kids over time have beaten him? It's like he gets his last bloodshed and he goes back
I
to
think the
being
only other
dormant.
thing you can do is they leave and he just makes them forget. Like that's fine.
Well, that's something that the difference between and I thought of this when the show started. I was like, okay, this could be a retread, but the difference between them and the Losers Club is that it's been a slower burn for them to see the clown one. But I think that was purposeful, not just for, like, the scar, like, took a minute and they're like, we can do a bunch of other forms and stuff. But I think also, like, this group, he just did a great plan to get them all scared at once,
Yeah.
But he's a little late into, his cycle here. And the show has kind of teased that.
Yeah. He's trying to
If he
do a
can
lot
make
at
it to
once.
this last, big bloody, like, whatever's going to happen, whatever this last massacre is that he does, maybe these kids can get out of it. I don't want to fully just believe they're all going to die. I do think there is a slight chance they could subvert our expectations.
I really hope it's just Stranger Things without the plot armor.
I
Like,
think.
want them to
Do you
die.
guys
I
not
want
think
them
one
to
of
walk
these
up.
seasons
want
people
all
will
of them to die.
survive? Because people forget if they leave the town.
I get
That's what
that.
I'm saying. You could leave the town.
You can do so much with it when you really do think about it.
Yeah. If
I
they
think
leave,
they're all
that's something
cooked.
else. But if they don't leave, they should.
Like, the losers made a pact to come back and beat them.
yeah.
There's
Exactly.
a reason.
That's
That's
why
what I
they
was really
remember-
getting
they
at.
remember 'cause of their
You want me to be
friendship.
completely honest with you? I think they're all dead at the end of the season, but something else big is going to happen, and we're going to either. I mean, the next season goes back, but it might connect to the the next movie.
But
the
one
first
thing that
movie.
surprised me a lot about this season too is that we have gone back. We've seen
might go
flashbacks that could
dormant
probably
already, yeah.
be
Hot
continued
take.
next season.
Not even a hot take, bold prediction. I think it's going to end with him going dormant, and we're going to see other families, and it's going to be the kids' parents from It 1.
Yeah. It could.
He
It
comes
could
every
immediately bridge
27
right. It could bridge
he
right
comes
into.
Do you,
every
do you want
27
them to
years.
do that though? Like where it's so.
No, let
know,
that
connected
let that
like
happen
that.
because in the next season we're going back.
We're
Another,
already getting
you know,
quite a lot of descendants.
We're-
of-
100%. But
It is funny when you
it's-
think about
all
that.
the people
'cause,
end up
yeah.
coming back to Derry, so it kind of makes sense that
Yeah.
there's a detraction where he just kind of.
I'm really curious, just format wise, how they format the show.
It's almost
because-
like he's
yeah.
breeding them like cattle. He lets them have kids, goes back 27. They all get attracted. Someone to come back.
Yeah, he needs some
he
kids.
slaughters
to
them.
Yeah.
So it's almost like what's the word? It's almost like he has his, I don't want to say his own livestock to shoot, but essentially he has his own little
I mean,
pen
there's a reason he keeps the town
consistently.
alive. Like the town is still a town
Yeah.
because of him. Like he could just
yeah, it's a
destroy
very
it if
interesting
he
question
wanted
because
to.
we see the pillars in the show.
Yeah.
You really know, like without the pillars, like the whole world would be screwed. Like this man is an insane threat.
Yeah.
Like he is just literally a god that was sent to Earth and is somehow being contained in this town.
And the thing is, though, he
Mhm.
wouldn't go and slaughter the whole earth. But I think you leave him in another country with who knows what. I think he could do some scary manipulation that he's doing in
It's
Derry.
about feeding for him. Yeah, he doesn't really. I don't think
He's sports hunting essentially. You know what I mean? He lets them breed. They have kids. He comes back up and he's like mealtime, and then he goes crazy, and then he does the same thing over and
Yeah,
over again.
usually-
It's a fun game, and like I said, It too. I said I'm very excited because it's gonna be a lot more modern. You know, we're gonna see a lot more technology, and obviously didn't get used to his advantage. The way we wanted to. I wanted to see a lot of interesting ways on how he scared people and killed them.
They
that
did not do a great job.
They could have utilized. I would have loved to have seen him terrorize people through different things. Like, bro, we
Yeah,
have
like the Paul
tablets and
Bunyan
stuff.
statue just wasn't that good.
No,
Like,
it
the
wasn't.
Stuff in chapter 2 just wasn't even
Yeah.
scary. to be
No, it
honest.
wasn't. It was just like kill.
More goofy.
I felt bad for the girl that got killed on the bleachers. I genuinely felt
That
bad.
was like one good Pennywise scene in the movie.
but even that,
Nah,
like, he
him
didn't
ripping
even
through
really
the kid in
scare
the
her.
mirrors was crazy.
That was pretty cool too, I guess. Yeah, but
It was
still,
okay.
Him biting the random guy going down the stream, the gay guy that they pushed because it was a
It
hate
was
crime.
all right.
Like,
I feel like
like,
genuine.
no, I
good
didn't like it.
scenes
I
is in
just
the
thought it
first
didn't make
one.
sense. He just bit like a guy that was like half conscious. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
it
not
seemed a little
Pennywise.
weird.
Like
Yeah, he was, just
Pennywise doesn't do that. He scares his prey unless.
I mean, he definitely was.
That's what I was
scared,
saying
but,
with that
like,
little
probably
girl
'cause
though. He
he was
didn't
scared.
even scare her. He just
ate
lunges
her
at
in
her.
He just bit her face. Yeah, before she.
He
could even
literally was on her.
react.
Like she was happy to see him until then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird how they do it sometimes. You know what I
You know,
mean?
sometimes
don't
he
really
probably
get 'em.
just does it to feed. You know, it's.
People
Yeah, that's what I'm
Isn't he
saying. But
feeding
in
on
this
the-
show, he cares so much
Well,
about
no, he also
scaring them.
eats them. It's both.
He does eat the flesh too, but I feel like he always says the flesh is like whatever tastier because they're scared or whatever.
Yeah, that adds a lot to it. He wants them to be scared.
That's such a good point. Yeah, that girl on the bottom of the bleachers, he does not scare at all. He just
Yeah.
No, there's things in chapter 2 that generally don't make sense.
Unless the bite freaked her out. He didn't.
But, like,
kill
it's
her off
literally
one bite.
point- 0.2
Bites her face
seconds.
off in 1
Yeah,
second.
it's so fast that it's like that's
You have
against
time to
his
react
rules.
in 1 second when a clown just
Oh, yeah,
jumps.
you go into. I mean, your body goes in shock. Like, listen, at the end of the day, we're not going to understand the full neurological thinking of this character. You know, we're not. But that's the kind of the beauty of it. We come up with these theories. We try to figure out the character and analyze them until stuff comes out. And to wrap this up, I think we're gonna end the season with all them dying. They're gonna connect it to It Chapter 1, and then they're gonna leave it alone. It's gonna be its own thing. They're gonna want to.
They already have referenced in chapter 1 quite a lot visually,
No, 100%.
which has been cool. You know, we got that, the train shot in the last, which sadly did have a
You got to
mistake, but-
appreciate the lengths they've taken to like make the town look pretty much the same from the films. Like
100%.
it looks, especially
gonna
because
keep
it's
going
not
Well,
back.
seeing it's
different from
gonna
the
be
ni-
really cool to go
27
back
years.
to the films too. You see a really cool progression with the town
I think
Yeah.
we're gonna
because
see
it's every 27 years.
we're gonna see
Yeah.
some cool scenes with Native Americans when we start going back in time. We're gonna see a lot. Of
We already
spiritual
have
stuff.
seen some
Well-
crazy
Well, when
stuff
he
with
when he
them
really
and
gets to
their
focus
lore
on
with
it, 'cause
Pennywise.
it's their land. So pictures, we're gonna go right back a little bit more, a couple time jumps.
What did you feel? How did you feel about his original look like to them? It's a little ridiculous, but
it is,
it's
but you have to understand, if you're scaring people for a certain time period, we can't expect it to look like something that would scare us now. That's how
no,
you
no,
gotta
for
think.
sure. I honestly thought it was kind of
Can't.
interesting.
Too many
'Cause, like,
people
if you get
s-
attacked by that, it's gonna be scary.
Bro, if you saw
It just
any-
looked very interesting.
Let's
It
be
was not
honest.
as clown.
If we're in the 30s, like let's say we go back to 30s, and I see anyone like a cape and like maybe a plague doctor mask, something stupid, like at that time period, that's probably really scary. I
Yeah.
mean, in general, if we
This
saw
was like a
somebody now-
moose. We're talking
if-
about like a moose.
A moose. Well, it's the same
Yeah.
thing. They believe in the spiritual stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's
No,
ridiculous.
I
but
thought
it's
it was very interesting.
Essentially, he's a skinwalker. If you think about it,
Yeah.
take on a form of an animal. I mean, that's the stuff they believed in. You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
not just
they
them,
didn't
but-
have like movies and stuff. So,
They don't
like,
have
It's not
that
gonna be a
influence.
werewolf. Like,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think they've done more so than the films, especially since it's chapter 2. We just said it, they didn't do it that well.
Imagine a kid
The
in
forms
80s
he's
with a
taken have
xenomorph.
been really cool.
Yeah.
I hate to bring that up. Imagine like 80s kid getting chased.
Oh,
by
he was probably having a ball
a
like
xenomorph.
past the 80s past.
I
Like
really
he
think
had so
over-
much
yeah,
Face
material.
hugger would have
Yeah,
been
he probably had a
He
crazy.
lot.
probably had so
probably
much
a
material
lot of great
once
material,
movies
for
started really
sure.
coming out.
Like if
big
I saw a
IPs.
face hugger coming at me, yeah, I'd be pretty scared.
I'd
so.
be shit in my pants. Imagine a kid
Yeah.
afraid of like Chewbacca, something stupid like that. But like that's the end of the day. It's your fear's your fear. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, after what, we're 5 episodes in now.
We just saw episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, like, I'm not like loving the narratives overly, but I gotta say, I'm happy to see new forms of it. Bill Skarsgård back as this
Hot take.
character.
I'm loving the show. You guys know my
Yeah,
personal.
I know you're loving it.
I'm enjoying
To each his
just
own,
the
man.
building of the character because
Yeah.
you guys know when the first 2 movies came out, like obviously mentally I'm not like invested as I used to be
Yeah.
like in his origin, but like when I read the books, when I read stuff, I was telling you guys all these different things. I'm like, I wonder if we'll ever get this wonder. And we were like, after it too, like we're never getting anything back. Like this is cooked.
Yeah.
Now getting it, I like to see where they go with the show. You know,
For
They're
sure.
going-
It's definitely a fun watch. I'm not trying to hate on it. or
And also,
anything.
it
It's a
has
fun
given
watch.
me some, like, I guess, more concerns, but also new faith in Andy Muschietti.
Yeah.
Where his direction does stand out, but some things are negative. Especially
I have-
some of the sequences, like the graveyard sequence, does not belong in the show. But
No.
also, that could have been a bunch of issues going on, especially budget-wise. But did not love that. And I
Yeah.
didn't love... What was that other... I didn't love the... I don't know how I feel about the baby monster from the beginning. Like...
I'm just happy to see a bunch of different forms. Like,
But
they're
yeah,
doing
the
a lot.
other forms, especially like the mother one, was one of
was
the. I think the
wild.
scariest we've seen in even besides in
No, it's
more than the
scary.
movies.
It's scary.
It
I'm
was
not gonna lie,
creepy.
It bugged me. It made you gross. And honestly, gross is sometimes scary. To us, it's like we know it's a show, but characters right then and there, this is their real life to them.
Yeah.
They're seeing some of the grossest stuff that's so gruesome that honestly, I like the jumps. I do. I like the jumps that they're taking with the show. And honestly, I can't wait to see what the further seasons have for us.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued.
Very intrigued. And, got a couple episodes left. We'll see where it goes. We'll see the next seasons. But I'm just happy with TV right now. We've got a lot of stuff cooking right now. And I'm happy we're able to talk about
We
it.
didn't even get to talk about Pluribus coming soon.
A lot of show right now. We'll be talking about that soon. But thank you guys for joining us. Catch you guys next time.